So what we need to understand, and now I'm getting to a very important part, guys, thinking caps on, focus on, take this information in. There's three things that the brain does to assist itself to reduce this vast amount of data to a usable amount. Three things the brain does. Number one, it deletes. It erases. It wipes a vast amount. And I'll test it. I'll prove it to you quickly. Repeat word for word what I said over the last 2 minutes. Anybody? Your brain has already deleted some of the words. When you drive, who's driven your car from one point to another point, and you get to the other point, and you realize you just got no idea what happened the last 10, 20, 30 minutes? Where did that information go? Your brain deleted it. Are there any people here that likes reading? Any readers love books? Have you ever read a book and at some stage whilst reading the book, realize you got no idea what you just read? You actually have to page back a little bit and find your space again. What the happened there? You were focused. You were focused. And your brain just said, delete. Who's been in a conversation with someone you actually enjoy talking to? I mean, you met my wife. She's gorgeous, beautiful. I love chatting to her. But there are times that I've been in conversation with her, and halfway through she goes, "You're not listening, are you?" And I'm like on a different planet. I'm just not there. It's like gone. Anybody else had that before, where the person looks at you weirdly? Or you're in a conversation, you realize, oh my goodness, I've got no idea what they just said. And you try and sort of catch up to what just happened. The brain deletes. What you need to understand firstly is that the brain does delete, and it deletes a vast amount of information. Why is this important? When we want to communicate something, very often we want to explain something. We want to tell someone something. Now, think of this as coaching calls. Your client is going to come in. They've had experiences. They want to explain their experience to you. They want to give you a realization of who they are, where they come from, and where they're going. But they will delete a vast amount of information. In other words, they cannot transfer their full experience to you. There is going to be deletion in the communication. Does that make sense? As a coach, you need to be aware of it. Part of the experience they're going to try and explain to you will be subjective based on the fact that they have deleted some information in their experience. And I'll give you a quick example. So let's assume that at the end of today, your partner, your loved ones, your friends or family members are going to say, okay, and what were you doing today? And you're going to say, I was on a course. Really? What did you learn? Oh, lots. Like what? And then in 5 minutes, you're going to try and explain to them what a professional trainer taught you an entire day. Come on. When we took the break earlier, already someone asked you, and how's it going? And like in 30 seconds, you try to tell them what took an hour. Is it possible that in your explanation, you have deleted some information? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Why? Because we're time restricted. Plus, you can't remember all the details because your brain's already deleted some of it. So be aware of the fact that the brain deletes. So ladies, if your husband or your boyfriend is watching a game on the weekend on TV, and he has a remote in the hand, and you talk to him, he has to delete something. And through a process of selection, it's not going to be the TV nor the remote. So when that happens, don't get angry at him, because he has got no choice. If he didn't, his brain would have exploded because it would be an overload of data. So the next time it happens, just go to him, hug him, and say, I'm so glad your brain didn't explode. Is that okay? Is it possible that your brain is going to delete? Yes. It's going to delete incoming information. It's going to delete information you're trying to get out of the brain into the world. There's constantly going to be a process of deletion. This is vital. And if you understand this process, you'll become a better leader. Because very often in the work environment, a lot of bosses give instructions. And if someone doesn't follow the instruction perfectly, then they get a written warning or they get disciplined or whatever. I've got a very, very strange approach to this, and this is just my way. If you give an instruction and someone deleted some of the information, give yourself a written warning because you didn't communicate it properly. Take responsibility. If what you are going to say that's going to come out of your mouth is so important that if the world doesn't hear it, it will stop turning on its axle, then say it in such a way that people actually get it. And how do we do that? We do it through confirmation, we do it through backtracking, we do it through repetition, we do it through using tonality, we use it through explaining from a different angle. There's a variety of ways, and then you check if they got it, which is called a backtrack. So did you understand? Repeat back to me, or you can use visual cues or whatever. There's a variety of ways you can double check. But if what you're going to say is so vital that someone needs to hear it, say it in a way they're not going to delete the critical parts. Because you need to understand deletion will happen. It's a natural process. We cannot not delete. We have to delete information. If we didn't delete some information, we would go insane. We have to delete. So if you want to be a great communicator, have an awareness of that and communicate accordingly. Yep, especially as a coach.